I also want to share another important responsibility that teachers have.
我另外要跟你分享一个老师很重要的一个责任。
Good teachers form a partnership with parents.
好老师会跟家长建立起合作伙伴的关系。
When I started my teaching career, I didn't even give a thought to parents.
我刚开始教书的时候，根本没有去想到家长。
I really had not been taught anything about connecting with the parents.
在学校也没人教过我你要怎么跟家长保持关系。
And my thinking was this.
而我当时想法就是，
I do my job with the kids here at school.
我在学校在这些孩子身上做好我的工作，
And the parents do their job with the kids at home.
家长在家里好好管好孩子。
I was 100% wrong.
我那个真的是错的太离谱了。
The longer I taught, the more contact I made with parents.
我教的时间越久，我跟家长接触的时间就越多。
And I mean that in a good way, not a negative way.
这种接触都是好的，不是一种负面的接触。
And let me share with you how I made my initial contact with the parents.
那我希望跟大家分享一下，我一开头怎么跟家长们建立这样的接触。
It all begins with an invitation.
一切都从一个邀请开始。
At the beginning of the school year, I wrote a letter to the parents of all of my students.
学年一开头呢，我就发一封信给所有学生的家长。
And I sent that letter home with the students.
我请学员把这封信带回家。
Now, sometimes when you do that, the students forget to give it to their parents.
有的时候你请学生这样做，学生会忘记要把信交给家长。
And sometimes they just don't want to give it to their parents.
有的时候不想给自己家长看。
But I made sure that I knew whether the parents read the letter or not.
可是我要确保，要知道家长到底有没有读完这封信。
The letter was an assignment for the students.
这一封信是我给学生的一个作业。
Take it home and get a note back to me from the parent indicating they had read the letter.
你把信带回家，同时有一份回条是家长读完之后要请你签了名之后带回来的。
So I did know that all of the parents received the letter.
所以我要确保每一个家长都收到这封信了。
And many of them wrote some very nice notes back to me.
有些呢写了很好的回条给我。
They said, my student has been in school for 11 years.
有些人跟我讲，我孩子在学校念书念到11年级了。
And we've never been invited by a teacher to join.
从来没有老师邀请我们一起参与的。
Okay, so let me explain a little bit about what the letter contained.
那我就跟你解释一下我那封信上写了什么。
And in the book is available. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In the book, there is a copy of the letter that I sent to the parents.
在我的书上，你会看见一个副本，就是我寄给家长那封信。
One of the things that teachers have to remember about the role of parents.
有一点是老师们不要忘记家长的角色。
They are the first teachers that their students will ever have.
他们是我们学生面对的第一个老师。
And in many cases, they are the most important teacher.
在很多情况，他们真的是这孩子生命中最重要的老师。
Now, I mentioned earlier some parents, for a variety of reasons, don't always do a good job.
当然，我之前提到，有好些家长可能不同的理由没有做好这教导的工作。
And that's when our role becomes even more important.
因此，让我们的角色就变得更加重要了。
My letter to parents had 3 parts.
我写给家长信有3个部分。
The first part was an introduction of myself.
第一个部分是介绍我自己。
I told the parents where I went to college,
我告诉家长们我是在哪儿上大学的，
what I studied,
我读的科目是什么，
what degrees I had,
我拿到什么学位，
and how long I had been teaching.
我教导年资有多久了。
Now, I taught full-time in a high school,
我在中学是全职教课的，
but I also taught in a university in the evenings and in summer school.
那我同时也在大学做兼任的夜间部跟暑修的老师，
So I let the parents know that.
让家长们都知道。
The second part of the letter is the most important part, and that was the invitation.
信的第二个部分也是最重要的部分，就是我的邀请啦。
And I told the parents, you are the first and most important teachers your kids will ever have.
我告诉这些家长们，你们是孩子们第一也是最重要的老师。
And now I come along and become a partner in that educational process.
而现在我的出现是成为这个教育过程当中的一个伙伴。
Now I'm guessing that a lot of you are parents.
我想在座是不是很多人也是做父母的？
Would you raise your hand?
可不可以
if
举手
you're-
让我看看做父母的人？
Okay, there are a lot of parents in the room.
好些做父母的人在这里。
If you haven't figured this out yet, I want to share something with you.
如果你还没搞清楚这个，我想跟你谈谈。
You will be their teachers for as long as you live.
只要你活在世上，你就一直是孩子的老师。
My two oldest sons are 51 and 50.
我最大的两个儿子，一个51岁，一个50岁。
And I'm still teaching them things.
我到今天还在教他们东西，
Hopefully good things.
希望都是好事啦。
I don't know how that works. My boys are now older than I am.
我都不晓得他们怎么搞的。现在我儿子好像比我还老，
Just kidding.
开玩笑。
But anyway, I asked the parents to please join me.
所以我就邀请父母跟我一起，
And I gave them my contact information.
我把我的联络资料都告诉他们，
And I promised them that I would return phone calls and emails as quickly as I could.
我也跟他们保证，我都会尽快电话或者是电邮。
I should probably tell you I did not give them my home phone number,
啊，大概跟你讲啊，我不会把我家的电话跟他们说，
but I did have a number at school.
可是在学校有办公室的号码。
The third part was also important so the parents would understand how I felt about teaching.
第三个部分也很重要，让家长明白我对于教育的理念为何。
Just a few minutes ago, I talked about the two goals of a teacher,
刚刚我们讲到教育的两个目标，
character and academics.
品格跟学业。
And I wanted the parents to know that I emphasize the development of good character.
那我希望家长们知道，我是很强调品格的发展。
And I told them that I assumed they wanted their children to have good character.
那我也告诉他们是，我觉得他们也希望自己的孩子有优良的品格。
And that I would help them, help the kids develop good character.
我愿意跟他们一起帮助孩子培养出这样的品格来。
I also told them that besides teaching my particular subject,
我也告诉家长，除了教导我这个课题之外，
the subject might be history,
这个主题可能是历史科。
I also taught life lessons.
在班上啊，我也教人生的功课。
And I always thought that that was something we did not do a very good job of in school, was teaching life lessons.
我觉得这个是我们在学校可能没有做好的部分，就是教他们人生的功课。
I thought for many years that we did an excellent job of teaching academics,
我觉得很多年来我们在学业上做得非常好，
but we ignored the importance of good character.
但我们忽略了品格的重要。
And while I was still in the classroom, I wrote a book called 20 Things I Want My Kids to Know.
当我自己还在教书的过程中，我自己写了一本书，是20件我希望孩子学会的事。
And my kids were two groups of people.
我的孩子指的是两种人，
The first group were my 3 sons,
第一组当然就是我3个儿子，
and the second group were my students.
而第二组就是我的学生们。
And one of the things I said was that it, like I've repeated before, it isn't just academics, it's things that we learn from life.
而我在讲的，就好像我之前说的，不光是学业上面的学习，还有是在人生中应该有的品格。
So that letter was always pretty effective in getting parents involved.
通常这封信呢，就挺有效，能够让家长们参与在其中。
Now, this does not mean that 100% of the parents responded.
当然不代表100%家长都会有好的回应，
That will not ever happen.
不可能发生的。
But I always got more parent involvement than I did before I sent that invitation.
但每一次有这封邀请函，就会有比较多家长愿意参与，这比没有信要好得多。
And I thought everybody won in that situation,
我觉得在这样的情况当中，每一个人都是赢家，
particularly the students.
特别是我们的学生。
And the parents felt much more involved in their kids' education.
而家长也觉得在孩子的教育上，他们比较多参与。
And I told the parents to, as often as possible, ask the students what they were learning in my class.
我就跟家长讲，尽可能的问问你孩子，他们在我班上学到什么。
You know what parents usually ask their kids when they come home from school?
你记得孩子从学校回来之后，一般家长通常都怎么问他们？
They ask, "What did you do in school today?"
他们就问他：“你今天在学校做什么？”
And the students answer with one word,
孩子们最简单的回答：
nothing.
没什么。
I promise you that is not true.
绝对不可能没什么嘛。
They did not go to school all day and do nothing.
他们不可能一整天在学校什么都没做吧？
If they did, there is something seriously wrong with that school.
如果真的没什么的话，这间学校真的有问题了。
So I told the parents, ask specific questions,
因此，我教家长们要问比较明确的问题，
whether it was my class or other classes.
不管是我的班上还是其他老师的班上。
But I do know that the parents spoke to the students a lot about what I was teaching them.
可是我发现家长确实比较多强调是我在教他们什么。
Because many of them sent me emails telling me how much they were learning from their student being in my class.
啊，我发现很多家长写 email 告诉我们，就因为从他的孩子口中，他们从我教的内容里面学到很多。
And that was always a good feeling to get those kind of messages.
你收到这样的信息，都会觉得很开心的。
Okay.